Diarmuid Mullins, Limerick under-20 hurling manager. I suppose, Diarmuid, it's less than 2 weeks ago, we were talking to you about a minor All-Ireland semi-final, and there's been a quick turnaround now to an under-20 Munster semi-final. I suppose for you, what's transition been like in such a quick turnaround?
Yeah, it's just been a busy couple of weeks since the minor semi-final. I suppose up until that, we had both groups training away separately, but obviously the lads that were concentrating on the minor weren't part of our 20s panel. So look, they've been able to join us in the last couple of weeks. Everybody else has been working away since we were able to resume at the end of April. So it's just been a different kind of lead into a championship. Even in a typical year, I think at under 20s you would have had an opportunity to maybe look at lads playing colleges hurling and get a better sense of how guys are going. But look, every team has missed those opportunities.
Yeah, and you say every team is like that. Had you to change preparation with limited time that you got?
Well, I suppose we met the squad, but like from January up until the end of April, it was all virtual. They did some work with Diarmuid, who's our S&C coach. But until we could get back on the pitch, we couldn't really meet them. So that's made it a little bit more difficult, I suppose, to assemble our squad. There hasn't really been any, competitive games for us to be able to assess players outside of the county league that has started as well. And, with the club starting back up in the county league and trying to combine some of the commitments that the lads have with clubs and the county, it's been just a more hectic, I would say, build up than you would usually have in a typical 20s year, where you probably would have an extended panel. You'd go and you'd look at some of the Harty Cup games, you'd look at some of the club games, you'd also look at Freshers hurling games, and you get a greater sense of where lads are. But look, we're happy where we are.
Yeah, and you named a 35-man squad. Just looking through the team, there's a nice blend. Obviously brought up a few minors that were playing at All-Ireland semi-final. There's a good few that played last year's Twins Championship, and obviously a few that are in with John Kiley's senior squad. It's a really exciting time for Limerick hurling with lads we've come accustomed to.
Yeah, I suppose 20s, it's an opportunity for guys who maybe didn't make the breakthrough even at minor level a couple of years ago. They might have progressed a little bit better than some other players, and then obviously the two lads have progressed to the senior squad, so there's been a little bit of a balancing act with the seniors and their commitments with the seniors and with the 20s. But obviously their priority is the senior squad at the moment as they're preparing for Sunday, and then the couple of lads that are coming in from the minor panel, as I said before. Look, it would have been nice to have them for some of the preparation and some of the games that we were playing a few weeks ago, but obviously they had to focus on the All-Ireland semi-final.
Yeah, not to single out anyone, but Colin O'Neill and Colin Coughlin, as you said, are part of our senior squad. What's it like with that uncertainty that if they play in the Munster final on Sunday, that they won't be available to you then on Monday?
I think, look, that's fine. That's the rules that are in place. They were decided at the start of the year, and really, there's not much point in arguing, looking at the pros and cons of that particular rule. You just have to work away on the basis that they may or may not be available for us. If they get an opportunity to play with seniors, that's fantastic. It's brilliant that two young players have come through the system and at a really young age, at only 19, they're playing senior intercounty hurling with the All-Ireland champions. That's a credit to them, and it's credit to all the work that has been put into those two players. Obviously, we think we'll have a stronger team and panel if they're available to us on Monday night. So look, we just have to we have to be relaxed about that, and we have to prepare for all scenarios. If they're available, that's great, and if they're not available, look, we'll have other members of the panel that will be well prepared to step up and play at that level. I suppose the end goal for a lot of players at 20s level is to try and get onto the senior panel over the next couple of years, or push their way into the, I suppose, the plans of the senior management over the next couple of years. But look, it's something we just have to deal with, and other counties in Munster and Leinster are having to deal with it as well.
You mentioned there that semi-final that you're looking forward to. Clare beat Kerry 220 to 15 points in their quarter-final. Did you get a chance to see Clare in action?
No, a couple of lads from our backroom team went to watch the game. All right, we had our own session organised last night, and it'll be to the benefit of Clare that they got a game, and they've been able to look at their setup even for the match day and be prepared around that. So I think, look, Clare have a good side. They've 10 of last year's team, so to have the experience from that, and there's always very, very good players in Clare, and there's good players on this Clare team as well. So I wouldn't expect it to be anything but a really close game next Monday night.
Yeah, and in a straight knockout competition, does that just give it added pressure to the lads to perform on the day?
Yeah, I suppose, look, we're kind of used to the minor where you have the round robin approach, which was the case up until last year, and obviously with COVID restrictions, it went back to a knockout championship. But there's something nice about knockout championship as well. You have to be right for that day. You have to perform on that day, and in some ways, probably at 20s level, it's not a bad thing that you get one chance and you either take it or you don't, because it is scheduled at a time when there's senior championship on, and then you also have club commitments as well. I think at under 17 level, at minor level, I think the round robin has been really beneficial because it allows players to develop, and they need that time to develop at that stage. But I suppose at 20s, look, one chance, and that's just the way it is. So we have to grab that chance next week.
Yeah, the very best luck to you, Diarmuid. Obviously, Limerick play Clare in the Munster Under-20 Hurling Semi-Final Monday, 19th July in the LIT Gaelic grounds at 8:15. So the best luck, Diarmuid.